Right then guys, I'm really excited for this video. As you know, I'm trying to build a full carbon fibre Porsche, and so far I've only fitted 2 carbon fibre panels. However, in this video we're going to hit a massive milestone. That's because I finally get to fit all this. Full carbon front bumper and carbon front fenders or wings. In this video I'm going to show you how I made these carbon fibre parts using moulds and the resin infusion process. Then I'll show you how we fit them to the car and we'll get to see what it looks like. If you're lucky guys, I may even show you a sneak peek at the custom wheels I've been building to fill the arches of this project. And do me a massive favour guys, if you like the content, don't forget to press that subscribe button. Not only can you follow the journey, and you may even learn some carbon tricks and tips along the way, but it massively helps the channel out. In one of my previous videos, I showed you how I acquired some moulds from genuine race cars, which were in an abandoned barn in Nottingham. So guys, today's the day where I'm finally gonna take on the challenge in making a front bumper in carbon for the Porsche. I'm not looking forward to this.
Get ready to rumble!
Forgive the mess guys, I got carbon stuff stacked up everywhere, but I just wanted to give you a scale of this part. Now it's too big for my table. It's absolutely massive. Right then guys, it's finally time to take on this front bumper mould. Now I've been dreading this in all honesty. The easy option would just be to cover this in forge and that would be simple enough. But I don't want to do that. What I want to do is do accents in weave and some in forged. Basically, these moulds were taken off a genuine Porsche race car. Very, very lucky to acquire them. But one of the things that's always puzzled me is why he left holes in all these areas here. All his moulds have holes. Now, for vacuum infusion, these holes are an inconvenience. You've got probably 10 holes here. You've even got some in this bit here. So I've got to cover all these up now to allow me to do the infusion process. So what I intend to do is put some plastic sheet in there, use a glue gun from behind. So there you have it, all the templates are cut out and are stuck to some perspex, and cut all these pieces out and then we can stick them on. All the bits of plastic are all cut out. I'll stick these to there. Start putting the jigsaw puzzle together. The glue gun's nice and hot. One of the reasons guys why I'm not looking forward to this mould so much is because it's a multi-part mould. You'll see how this bolts on, and basically put a bolt and nut to every one of these holes, bolt it up tight. This is one of the painstaking things about multi-part moulds. They take forever. Just before I start laying up the fabric, I'm going to mask off the areas I want to do in weave. So as you know, I'm doing most of my Porsche in forged carbon. So my plan is this central vent intake here, I'm going to mask this up, will be weave around this vent and maybe back up. That can be weave. I'm going to do a straight line across the middle here, and everything down below that line, as if that's the splitter, I'm going to do in weave. So I'll get some masking tape now, probably a laser to get this level straight. I'll mask this bit up, this bit, and these two sides. I'm masked up everywhere where I want to put weave as opposed to forged carbon. Time to start cutting up some spread toe to make some forged, and I can cover all this brown in forged carbon. So this is how I make the forged carbon materials guys. I use a cutting mat, a rolling cutter. I use a box to store all the materials in. I basically cut this into small sections. So after chopping up a load of spread toe, and as you can see there's loads in here. This is more than enough to apply it to this part of the bumper. Now to apply this to the surface, obviously because we've got vertical surfaces here and surfaces up here, I use this fusion fix. Now this is a spray tack. It's invisible once you place it on the front of the mould and stick your cloth down. This doesn't show up on the surface of the part once you pull it out, which is great. I'll leave a link in the description below. Be careful guys, there's a pink version and a blue version. The blue version is for the face of your mould and the pink version's for the backing materials. The pink version will actually show up on the surface of your mould, so you don't want to use that for your aesthetic layer. So let me show you how to apply this forged carbon piece of place. Give this can a good shake, just liberally spray it. Give it a couple of seconds to tack off. You just stick them on. Place them in whatever pattern you want. I mean, you can throw them on, but what you find then is you waste a lot of it because you've got a lot of thickness. So here's the effect you're after, or I want to get anyway. This is a very slow process. I've only got halfway so far and it's taken me nearly an hour and a half. So you've got to take extra care when going near the masking tape. You can't just throw it and overlap, because when you go to peel the tape off, you'll actually rip off all the forged. There's a little bit of brown you can see here and there, but I'll show you later on how I deal with that to make sure you get no gaps. So many hours later guys, I've just finished covering the bumper with forged. Now if I show you a close-up, you'll see some areas brown. So what that means is there's gel coat showing through. So what I do at this stage is I grab the spread toe in its normal form without chopping it up, and I lay a layer of spread toe over the top of the forged. And what that means is then any of the holes you've missed and the gel coat was showing through would shoot through and catch onto this. It's time now to unmask the areas where I want weaved. So what I've got to do is be careful when I'm unmasking, not to tear any of the forged or pull any of the forged off. But then what I'll do is once I unmask that, I can place weave. That's the carbon laid up. We had about 3 layers of 210 and a layer of that white stuff in the middle, anthisoric. On to the vacuum bagging now, so another big chore. So it'll be peel apply first, then some breather mesh, then the bagging itself, and then once we've bagged it up, we also need to put like vacuum feeds in for where you draw the resin in and where you pump the air out. That was probably the biggest part I've ever had to bag. So as you can see, I put the pump on and I've drawn all the air out of the both bags. She's tight. It took absolutely ages to pump all the air out of there. There's so much air inside the bag. But now it's time to do a drop test. Right guys, it's good news. It's been 45 minutes and the bag is solid, which is great news, which means we've got a seal. So it's time to mix up some resin and pump it in.
Well, the most satisfying feeling is the pump, the pump, the pump, the pump, the pump.
Just approaching the final stages of the pump, guys. It's finally done. The bumper's successfully resin infused. I won't lie guys, this part is hard graft. You really need some physical labour to pull off some of this bagging. And one of the reasons why carbon costs so much, look at all this wasted bagging consumables. Removing this is hard work. You can put a piece of foil in between the mesh and the peel ply called bread wrap. Makes it a lot easier to pull it apart. What I find is if you've got a big flat area, bread wrap's easy to lay. If you've got all these complicated shapes, you can't just spray glue it in, so it's really hard to do. Infusion makes hell of a mess. This is definitely not recommended for anyone doing something in the house. It's the multi-part mould. So you've got this part, 2 ends and the bottom. I've just undone all of both. The first part coming off, which is good news. It's come off very well, which means the wax has worked. But in fairness, pretty pleased with that. The rest of the bumper comes out that well. Starting to get really excited after seeing that first part. Now I'll do the end 2 plates and then I'll do the bottom bit. Really excited. There we go. Moment of truth. Absolutely perfect, guys. Champion job. Let me turn the camera and show you what we got. What do you think of that, guys? First things first, you'll notice a V-weave in the middle there. You've got a little gap there for forged, and the V-weave goes up into here. I carried on the pattern with a slight gap of forge there into this intake. Took a lot of skill to mask that and pull that off, and not many people would even notice it, but I think it adds an extra bit of detail rather than just covering the whole thing in forged. As you can see there, I continue the splitter line. It's turned out pretty mint, to be fair. Obviously I've got to trim all the excess off in here, and I'm going to cut this out, this middle line here, because I'm going to put my light in there. That's for a race car. But guys, that's been a week's solid grafting every evening after work, coming and working on this. Was it worth it? 100% yes it was. I'm over the moon. It's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. It turned out better than I ever imagined. I mean, my ideas of doing all this could have gone quite wrong, but the fact they turned out perfect is testament to the more you practice, the better you get at stuff. One thing I want to do is give praise to the guy that made this mould. Even though they're not made for infusion, hence why I had to fill up all these holes with plastic, it's turned out perfect. His moulds are very good quality. Thank you very much, whoever you are. I don't even know the guy's name.
Round 2. Fight.
Here we go again, guys. Time to make some parts in carbon. And you could probably guess what finish I'm going for, and that's it. Forged carbon. These are quite straightforward parts, pretty flat, not much shape to them, should be quite easy to bag. So I'm going to be a bit ambitious and try and attempt to do 2 of these at once. So that's the wing laid up, guys, as you can see there. We've got the forged layer, 2 to 3 layers, 210 gram cloth, plus then the layer of 200 gram Kevlar. So this will be really light, but yet still flexible because I haven't added the 2mm Soric layer. So next, we're going to start adding the bagging consumables. So we've put on the peel ply, then the breather mesh, some spirals and the connection points, and bag it up. The 2 bags suck together. So the wing's been curing now, guys, for 24 hours. So I've undone all the bolts from the multi-part moulds. We should be able to prise it apart now. There we go. Ready? First things first. Light but strong. Turned out pretty good, even on the ends there, guys. Weight wise, kilogram maybe a bit more.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time!
Right then, Ray, this is a .1, aka a Mark 1997. This bumper is off a Mark II. Now one of the main differences is the lights. If you look, they're totally different shape. Now that's long and rectangular, whereas this is more curved. So I'm doing a facelift conversion, so I've got the facelift lights. So this isn't going to be a simple plug and play, because I think the plugs are different. Anyway, we'll come back to that later. Right then, Ray, let's get this out of the way. I grab that wing set. Have a look what's involved.
A wizard and a thumping good night, wager.
Let's get all these trims off. Pull.
There.
Right, we've got to start with the headlight. Stick a tool in there, wind it round, and out she comes. Can't remember where you stick this.
This is a regular occurrence, apparently.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, he's in the hole. soon. Oh,
There you go, there you go. There you go, and pull.
this is where I should have kept my mouth shut because now
Don't
it's
turn the sticker in the hole.
my girl getting in the hole.
No, it's not. There you go. You've got a bit of experience with this, haven't you? Dirty
Ta-da!
boy. Dirty boy. Right then, Bri, the bumper is quite straightforward. You've got a couple of fixings along the top here. You've got one behind this indicator and a couple down the bottom. Now I think what we'll probably do is remove the indicators first. So first things first, right, grab these lights and I think we just give it a pull. Maybe you don't, but I'm not sure if that's the way you take them out.
I'm not sure if that's just broke or not.
I thought there was a fixing behind here. But maybe there's not. Ah, it's behind there.
Yeah, I see it.
Under there.
There's a screw.
Can you get to it through there?
No.
That means we get to turn the wheel right. Whoa, that's pretty heavy.
Wait, let me get the scales.
Let's get some scales. That's quite heavy actually. What are we saying, right?
We are at, well, about 11 kilos.
11 kilos.
That's a lot.
But bearing in mind that's got the lights.
That's 11 bags of sugar just on the front of your car.
I'm gonna show you, that's a lot lighter.
He's not just got strong fingers.
But it's sharp.
Don't put too much tape on it, we'll put the weight right up.
Ah. In the name of science. I just don't want to drop a 600-pound light.
It's hard to believe you're a nuclear engineer in your spare time.
Yeah. Here we go. This one. With two lights, still a lot lighter than that. What are you saying, right?
6 kilos.
6 kilos. Is that one?
11.
Half the weight. Right then, let's get it on the board. Front bumper, what were we saying, right? It was 11 if I remember rightly.
11 bags of sugar.
Carbon bumper with the lights was 6. Massive saving. You never would have thought that this plastic bumper here would be twice the weight of this wider bumper here. It's crazy. My old car has got a third radiator, this hasn't. But that's ideal, because on that supercharger kit we've got to fit next month. Let's get a box and see if that fits there. Now you may not have seen my previous videos, but I plan to fit a supercharger to this car. And what you got there, right, in the box from VF Engineering. So, a third radiator, and a water bottle. So I'm going to do a full video on fitting this supercharger kit, and Ryan, as a mechanic, is going to give me a hand. But let's, Ryan, you can talk for a bit. What do you reckon that is?
So in this kit from VF Engineering, you get an external water tank, which I'm pretty certain is going to be for the charge cooler.
Makes sense.
Obviously that is situated way in the back of the engine where it's going to get hot.
Yeah.
So hopefully, along with being down behind the crash bar here with some good airflow, and an extra radiator that they supply, it should give us the proper amount of cooling we're going to need to maximise performance.
So I guess the pain on this then is being that everything's at the back of the car. We got a lot of pipes to run from here up the back. That's going to be a Dan job, I reckon. I'll bolt the bits on, you run the pipes. Oh yeah, you'll just do the bolt on bits, yeah, that makes sense. And obviously this, so one thing to note, we're always weighing things. Maybe we will not bother weighing this because this is pretty heavy. Feel the weight on that?
It is. It is a chunky boy.
Yeah, so whatever we've just saved off the bumper, we've lost on that. We've got to...
Worth it.
Oh yeah.
100% worth it.
Oop. That was already there.
Big ass supercharger.
More power, baby.
Can I get a more power, baby?
Right then, right. We've done all these. The remaining bolts, if you open the door, they're in there. And I think there's one down on the skirt or the sill.
Bet they're horrible to get to as well.
But we've got an expansion tank hiding the nuts for the wings.
Yeah. Up in there somewhere is a 10mm hidden away. It's not a 10mm. I'm lying to you.
What is it? Bigger, smaller?
Yeah, probably a 13. It's not 13. It's 12.
Right, you made a bit of a mess there, mate. Whew.
That's a job I never want to go through again. Why?
Yeah, what a stupid design.
Yeah.
But that's pretty heavy, right? Have a look at that. But
There's a lot of bracketry in there, isn't there?
so right, ideally we grab the scales now and we'll weigh this compared to the carbon one. But there's a bit of a catch. I need to explain something to you. So if you see this is designed for a street car. This tray is what allows you to slide that headlight in and out, and it sits on this skin. Now, this is part of a race car. Now, the race car doesn't have a street headlight. Now, see this bit they stuck on here? That's because they just stick a piece of perspex on the front of this, and they use a bucket like this. So this is the mold I got from that guy with the molds. And imagine now this is a negative. All they do is have that stuck in there, and they attach a simple fog light or a spotlight. That's no good for the streets, so I need to make these street worthy. That's where these come in. Now this is a copy, wrecking the wing, but never mind. This is an exact copy of that tray there in carbon. So what I need to do is mount that in here. And that will allow me to put street headlights on these wings. Now I haven't done that yet. So what I think we might do, as we did with that one there with the tape, we just tape that to that. We weigh this and we'll weigh that one just to get an example. It's not exact, but we're just doing it for the science. Do you reckon? Yeah. To make it fair, right? We got a wing or a fender for you Americans, the tray, and I've also got a spare one of these, which is the base to mount the headlights. So if I tape all this to this wing, we got a fair comparison. Oh, still massively lighter. Right, what do we do with the scales?
They're on the front.
Something else to note, guys. This one's got a fuel flap in it. Now, obviously a race car's got a race cell in the car. I'm not going to be cutting these wings to put a fuel flap in. I'm going to have one inside the hood or the bonnet. So you open the bonnet, fill the neck from there. So there's going to be a bit of a weight saving there, but it's all part of the bonus. You ready, right?
Ready when you are.
It's not that heavy really, but
A generous 6.
I'm a mechanic.
6. I project that to be a 2.5, maybe a 3. Definitely under 3.
I'll go in 2.
So I leave that there to show the 6 and we'll get a comparison. Under 2 maybe. I reckon 1.5 now. I've rethought about this. This is going to be mega light. Ready? What are we saying, right?
2.
2. Massive saving. Feel that. That's incredible. That's incredible. Weight comparison board. Let's get it written down. Here we go, back of the board. Wing or fender? So the OEM was 6, right, wasn't it?
Yeah, 6.
And the new one was 2? Massive saving. So just to point this out, guys, obviously we got a 4 kilogram saving on one fender, one wing, and we got 2 of them. So that's 8. So we got 8 on the wings or fenders alone, and we've got 5 on the bumper. So we got 8 and 5, it's 13. 13 kilograms saved on the front end. That's pretty impressive, I think. Right, and right, should we bang these on, see what they look like?
Oh mate, I'm itching to get these on.
Itching? You want to go and see a doctor, mate? It might have crabs.
Yeah.
Right, let's unpack the bumper, son.
Why have I got to unpack this £600
Yeah. Yeah, these are expensive. I have smoked them as well, if you noticed.
Yeah, I think they look cool.
Go on in, right, you go from one side, I'll go from the other. Right, these might not fit perfect, right, because we haven't got a head like that, they might have to space them out.
Yeah. I'll be honest, they line up.
Do they?
They line up quite well. Oh, hang on.
What?
This one won't fit here.
Why?
The corner. Oh, have you got to cut this bit out?
Let me show you, right? Let me show the people at home why that wasn't fitting.
Oh, here's one you trimmed earlier.
I've trimmed this one. I haven't trimmed that one. I've got to cut that out.
Well, will you fit that one then? How are you going to fit the one you trimmed?
See, you can tell it needs to go down like that, look.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to fit right because we got to do certain things. We haven't put the bumper on yet, but I just want to show you how wide these wings are.
It's big.
Yeah, you wish
It's
it was.
wide.
Now, look. You didn't really need to adjust this, but that is wide.
I mean, as a rule, Porsches are wider at the back.
Yeah.
And now the front is wider than the back.
Exactly. Look at the stance on that, baby.
It also makes you realise just how much wider the back's going to be when we do the back.
Oh, the back is way wider.
I mean, we've got to be a good 10 mil wider on the front than the back.
I can tell you exactly what it is. It's 2 inches either side. The new wheels, I put the rear lips on the front and it just fits. So we got the rear wide wheels on the front of the car. Let's get a bumper on.
Let's see.
Right, I
If
shouldn't
you cut
really...
it quick, there's a tractor in the background, so you can't get it and told off a noise.
I know, but hold the bumper. Obviously my mask was on then, I just took it off quick. So I'll do, let me hold it, I'll grab some mold grips. We'll,
We'll pinch it together.
and then I'll, with the wing. The bump needs to come down a bit. It's only for,
Yeah.
it needs a lot of fettling and twisting and bending because the moulds are probably out of shape.
That does look mega.
She is starting to look like a beast though. A lot of work, right, but I think that is definitely going to be worth it. What do you reckon, right?
Well worth being late for.
Yeah?
For those of you that don't know, I should have met a guy about half hour ago who's just bought my Golf off of me.
Met a guy.
You might see it and be like, oh, that's why he's late.
It's quite dark, it's night time, as you can see. So it's not really doing it justice. But that is wide. As always, when the going gets tough,
The tough get going.
Ryan goes.
I've got to go meet a guy in a lay-by, so.
Take it easy, Ryan. Thank you very much for your help, mate.
See you next week. Make sure you subscribe, you bunch of animals.
It's the next day, guys. Now you saw me and Ryan fit the front end on this late into the night and it was quite dark. So I thought we'd tap out and call it a day and come back and see what it looks like in the daytime. And you gotta admit, guys, she's looking pretty epic. You just need to appreciate that none of this is bolted on. I've just clamped it on with mold grips, so none of the gaps in the fitment are right, so please don't criticise the fact that all the gaps ain't adjusted. But just take a look at that. Now you'll understand why the weave goes up the middle of the bonnet and into the roof, guys. See how it all flows? I'm not going to lie, I absolutely love how this car is starting to look. The front end looks really nice and aggressive. However, there's something I don't like about this front bumper and I'm going to change. And that is this grille or intake here. Now see these two lines, I call them fish gills. I just think it looks tacky, I hate it, I think it spoils it. Now on the later 991, this grille was one piece open hole with none of these lines in it. So I think I'm going to mimic that and I'm going to cut these off and smooth them out because I think it look much better. Now people say, oh, I don't like the forge, it's a bit of a Mansory look, it looks tacky. Now if this was all weave and I chopped them out and modified it, there's no way to replace it. You end up having to like change a whole section. But because it's in forged, all I've got to do is place a few pieces of forged in there, resin over it, and you've eradicated any of the modifications. So that's one of the benefits of doing forged. I think the tool of choice for this is going to be the rip saw. If you look at this with the line, it looks a bit busy. But if you look at it without, I just think it looks a lot cleaner. Already that's looking much better, just by cutting that little piece out. Let's do the other side. Now while I've got this in my hand, there's one more thing I need to cut in this front bumper. And that's this line here for these lights. These bumpers for a race car, they have no lights in here at all and they put like a grill or mesh in here and ducts to the brakes. But I need to make it street legal to put these lights in. Now this is in the way. So let's use this to cut that. What I've done is just filled the 4 holes with various grades of carbon fibre cloth. Now it doesn't look pretty, but this is the rear, so it doesn't really matter. And once it's dried, I'll trim off the excess along here to make it match the height of this. But the idea is, once we've reinforced the rear and it dries, we'll flip the bumper over and then we'll sand down any of that carbon and resin that's filled those 4 little holes and we'll patch it with some forged carbon, as simple as that, and you'll never know those lines were ever there. Now here's where I did the repair. You can see that curve there, there's one that I cut out, and 2. So she's braced, she's really strong. All I've got to do now is patch that to make it invisible. So to hide the bits I just repaired, this is one of the reasons why I like forge. I take some chopped strand spread toe, mix up some resin, and we'll just lightly skim the surface of the repair and you'll never know it is there. Now that I've skimmed that in forged carbon, I've placed it outside because the sun will make it cure quicker. So bearing in mind, I've made 2 cuts on this. This is one of the reasons why I love forged. Look at this. You wouldn't even know there's a repair there with forged. So certainly forged won't be everyone's choice, but this is the reason why I picked it for this project, because I plan on modifying every part. I'm chopping up the doors, the fenders, the rear bumper. Forged allows me that freedom to be able to modify and chop and change it and patch it, and you won't be able to see it. So whilst we're on the topic of modifying other parts of my car, let me explain to you what I plan to do with the front fenders and wings and doors. Now obviously you've seen my bonnet is a 992 GT3 RS style. I think it's only fair that I put the same touch into the fenders and wings. So I plan on modifying these carbon parts, cutting a hole in them and basically fitting these, because I think these look absolutely awesome. On the 992 GT3 RS, you may have noticed that there's a big cutout that goes halfway down the door, and this part of the door and wing goes into the wheel arch. Now I plan on doing exactly the same, so I'm going to be customizing the door and the front fender or wing to mimic that 992 GT3 RS style. It's going to be wicked. Now you may have noticed this is 3D printed. Now I received these files from a mate of mine over in Australia, Mike Lake. I'm not sure if you already noticed, but Mike's printed a whole GT3 RS and stuck the entire car on a box to chassis. Wicked project. Now I'll leave a link in the description if you haven't seen it, go and check it out, it's a cool build. Now the reason I'm mentioning this is because we're going to do a bit of a collab. Now obviously this vent in the middle will be like this. Now I plan on making a mould of this, and then when I reproduce it in carbon fibre, I'm going to send Mike a set so that I have a piece of carbon on his build, which I think would be pretty cool. So thanks Mike for sharing these files.
Cheers.
The bumper's been outside drying in the sun for a few hours. Now it should be fully cured. Let's go and check it out. And look at the way that forged carbon glistens in the sun, guys. Now, I think that looks pretty wicked. I think we should chuck it back in the car and see how it looks. Again guys, a reminder, this is not bolted on, it's just resting with some mould grips, as you can see there. But look at that grille. Now that those two lines have come out, flows with the bodywork much better, I think. It's only a minor modification, but I think it massively improves the front end. I did say at the start of the video, I might give you a sneak peek of the wheels I've been building, so here they are. So this is a rotiform centre. Now I bought these wheels off eBay many months ago. They're 20-inch and they were in need of a refurb, and I thought they would suit the car rather well. But I couldn't decide what colour to paint them. But I'm known as Dan Pritchard Carbon, not Dan Pritchard Paint.
Here we go.
So I did something that could showcase my skills and build my dream wheels, and here they are. As you guessed, I carbon fibered them. So I painstakingly skimmed 28 separate faces, all facing the same direction, to try and make them look like a set of carbon wheels. Obviously they're skimmed, guys, so all you haters in the comments, you don't need to tell me that, oh, you've added weight and this ain't right. I don't care, this is my car, I'm building what I want. But I did a satin finish centre and a forged carbon lip to match the car. Now personally guys, I'm happy to sacrifice a little bit of weight when the wheel looks this good. Now I can't wait to fit these to the car. I think they'll suit the theme of the car perfectly. Now I am going to do a full video on these guys, how I made them, how I measured them, and how I basically got them to look like this. So don't panic, you're not going to miss out. Now look at that lip and dish. This is the front. Let me show you the back. Now bearing in mind, this is not finished yet, but that's the difference with the back. Look at the size of that dish. So this is a 4-inch outer lip, and this is an 8-inch outer lip. Look at the size of that wheel, guys. So you'll notice that one is satin and one is glossy. That's because I was experimenting and I couldn't decide what I wanted or what I preferred. And I still haven't decided yet, but you'll find out what I decide in my video when I do one on these wheels. Now, I'll go into full detail on these wheels when I actually do a video on them. But for now, I think I should test fit this front wheel to the car. Now, I haven't put the full weight of the car on the ground, guys, because there's only several nuts holding these wheels together. They're not finished yet. But I just want to give you a bit of a preview. Here we are, guys. Forged carbon car with carbon fibre skimmed wheels. Yes, skimmed wheels. So, one thing to note, notice the brakes look pretty small. I've got some big plans for the brakes, and you'll see that in a future video also. But as for fitment, hopefully I measured these right, but that is pretty sweet. That's going to look bob on. Now considering that was the rear lip put on the front, that's worked pretty well. Well, I think I'm pretty pleased with the progress so far, guys. It's definitely heading in the right direction. And I think I've packed enough into this video. But do me a massive favour, guys, hit that subscribe button. I'm still a relatively new YouTube channel. I've only been going 3 months. Especially if you like the content, it'll be massively helping out the channel. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Just to give you some scale on these new front wings, now that wheel is pretty much flush. Now look at the standard wheel. Look at the width difference. Jeez guys, look at that. If you're filming a new Batman movie, here's the car.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Porsche expert.